Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics. I'm Kayode Okichelu here in Lagos. First, the highlights. The Labour Party struggling to keep its house in order as the Deputy National Chairman Lamidi Apapa takes over the chairmanship position from Mr. Julius Abure, who himself has described the move illegitimate, instead accusing the APC of being responsible. And Good Friday, notwithstanding the PDP siege to the INEC office in Rivers State, enters day 5, even as the APC claims its lawyer was kidnapped by agents of the PDP while visiting the INEC office. It's the last day to file a petition. I'll be giving you updates on the situation. Attention in Nasarawa State as gunmen kidnap a former deputy governor in the state, Professor Onje Gewado, in his residence. Well, welcome to the program. Happy Good Friday to our viewers in Nigeria and across the world. It's safe to call it a week of protests and political drama in Rivers State, South Nigeria. Every day comes with its fair share of twists and controversies. And today isn't disappointing, it will seem. The protesters from the ruling People's Democratic Party in the state are still camped right in front of INEC's office in Port Harcourt, the state capital, for the 5th day in a row. But their demands remain for INEC to allow joint inspection of electoral materials and issuance of certified true copies of result sheets. Addressing journalists at the INEC office in Abaru, Port Harcourt yesterday, a federal lawmaker had urged the Commission to respect the rule of law in the handling of such sensitive issues affecting electoral materials, and that has been the consistent call. Well, this protest has seen the infusion of various activities from traditional processions and rituals to music performances, dancing, even cooking on the streets and the likes. The ruling party, whose governorship candidate, Semini Alai-Fubara, was declared winner in the election, is vowing to continue the protests as it does not want to leave anything to chance. Well, it is the final day for the submission of election petitions to the Rivers State Tribunal, as the law stipulates that aggrieved parties must submit their appeal within 21 days after the declaration of the election results. And this remains at the heart of a controversy in Rivers State. And it began with the arrest of APC lawyers last week by the police and the confiscation of the documents in their possession. The lawyers were eventually released, as well as the documents. Afterwards, the PDP launched the protests on Monday, preventing the governorship candidate of the APC in the state, Mr. Toyekol, from gaining access to the INEC office. And the big question now is, has the APC governorship candidate been able to beat the deadline to file his petition at the tribunal? Well, yesterday, I asked Mr. Darlington Waju, the publicity secretary of Rivers APC, if they had filed the petition, and he answered in the affirmative. However, follow-up calls to the governorship candidate to get some confirmation had proven abortive. Meanwhile, we have reports from the Rivers State Judiciary Complex where the tribunal is sitting that a total of 34 petitions have been received from different political parties that participated in the just concluded general elections in the state. And we just have confirmation now that indeed Mr. Toyekol has been able to file his petition at the tribunal. We, of course, have been keeping tabs with all of the developments from INEC to the political parties and now at the court. And again, we can confirm to you that that petition has indeed been submitted. But it's a developing story, and we'll bring you more details as we get them. But staying in Rivers State, a support group of the APC in the state is asking the National Working Committee of the party to immediately dissolve the state chapter of the Executive Committee to save the APC from total collapse in the state. The group, which goes by the name the Upper Echelon, was involved in the mobilization of youths for the party in the March 18th governorship and state assembly elections. And its president, Lucky Otos, who led other members to a media briefing in the state capital, said that the recent division among the state executive members is not healthy for a party that is struggling to move on after the past crisis that caused it a major political setback.
The executive of the upper echelon in Rivers State APC disassociate themselves individually as a group from the mold drama by the Rotimi Amechi-led APC in Rivers State. Amechi and his clique in Rivers State APC ceased to be members of the party the moment they pitched tent against the progress and fortunes of the party by choosing to vote for the presidential candidate of the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, against that of our party in the February 25th presidential election. Not yet done, Amechi openly accused the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu Asiwaju, a respected leader of our party, of being in bed with INEC. We consider such rascally utterance as injurious and damaging to the future of Rivers APC members in the scheme of things at the national level. As members of the Rivers State APC, we call on the neutrality of the electoral empire, INEC. Thus, there should be a joint inspection of any electoral materials. We believe in equity and fairness, so we cannot allow some retired politicians to rubbish our reputable image and drag us into unnecessary coerce while plunging their state into unrest. The outcome of the Presidential National Assembly, Governorship and State Assembly elections in Rivers State was free, fair and credible, hence we are satisfied with it. As stakeholders of the All Progressive Congress APC in Rivers State, we call on the security agencies within the state to be vigilant, considering the recklessness of some retired politicians and immediate invitation of those spearheading the unrest of our dear state. Sequel to the crisis rocking the state executive arm of the All Progressive Congress, Rivers State, we therefore call on the National Working Committee of the All Progressive Congress to, with immediate effect, intervene by dissolving the State Executive Council of the All Progressive Congress in Rivers State, because a house divided itself cannot stand.
Well, looks like there's no ending to the controversy playing out in Rivers State, as a state chapter of the APC is alleging that one of their lawyers, Godswill DK, has been abducted at the Rivers INEC head office. This allegation was made during a press briefing by Shugbe Eli, the party's campaign spokesman, at the head office of the party in Port Harcourt.
DK was invited to the commission to take delivery of the certified true copies of the INEC documents that were applied for pursuant to the provisions of Section 74 of the Electoral Act 2022, apparently acting on the tip-off. Edison here and Samuel Wanosike swooped on him inside the INEC office shortly after Dr. Godswill DK signed for the documents, and made away with him to the State Assembly residential quarters behind the INEC state headquarters. And our initial reaction was to establish contact with the resident electoral commissioner, Jackson Alalibo Semenikian, to report the criminal adoption of the aforementioned Dr. DK. Curiously, the REC, who has done nothing beyond the press release 2 days ago, directing political parties to proceed to the LG offices of the Commission for the election documents they may require, told our governorship candidate emphatically that there was nothing the Commission can do, having released the documents we applied for to Dr. Godswill DK.
Again, that's a developing story. We'll bring you more as soon as we get them. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Ikwere local government area has denied allegations that he was involved in the kidnap of an APC lawyer in Rivers State. He made the denial in a phone conversation with Channels Television. And in his words, my name is Samuel Wanosike. I'm the chairman of Ikwere local government and can never be involved in kidnapping anybody. The man you're talking about has even released a statement saying he's safe. He wasn't kidnapped on his way into INEC's office. Is it when he comes out that he will be kidnapped? He added to that call. Well, from River State, let's move now into the Labour Party affairs. And it appears that the crisis rocking the party is far from over, as some members of the National Working Committee have taken over the National Secretariat in Abuja, where they held an emergency National Working Committee meeting on the current state of the party. The members, led by Mr. Lamidi Apapa, who is Deputy National Chairman South, says is now the acting National Chairman. Mr. Apapa, who briefed journalists after the meeting, said that this action is as a result of a court order restraining the National Chairman, Mr. Julius Abure, and 3 other NWC members from parading themselves as national officers of the party. He also announced a reversal of the suspension of some members of the party at the state and national levels.
Anti-party concerning Labour Party, you are all aware that yesterday, 4th of April, the national chairman of our party and 4 other officers were restrained by Abuja High Court not to parade themselves as officers of the party. This is based on allegation of perjury, forgery, and so on and so forth. And because of that, this National Working Committee emergency meeting is taking place. Because in an organization like this, there is no room for vacuum. And therefore, this National Working Committee meeting has graciously appointed me as the acting national chairman of the party, while Alhaji Saleh has been appointed as the acting secretary of the party.
Well, Mr. Julius Abure insists he is still the national chairman of the Labour Party in spite of that action, because he says a court of competent jurisdiction equally gave an order barring any official of the party from suspending him as the national chairman. Mr. Abure says that the actions of the Lamidi-led team is illegal, which is why it resorted to the use of thugs and security officials to take over the national secretariat of the party, an action he says is temporary, as the said officers are not known to the law, according to him.
The Labour Party office is under attack. All the doors at the national headquarters have been broken and they have entered the office, purportedly trying to hold a meeting in the office. That meeting is not authorized by me, it's not authorized by the National Working Committee. The Labour Party is under serious attack, personally and individually, because of the case we have against the APC in court. All of this blackmail, all of this attack is tailored towards destroying the mandate that has been freely given to us by Nigerians. Nigerians must rise to the occasion, defend their country, defend democracy, and defend the Labour Party.
Well, we'll go to break now, and when we return, we're staying with the Labour Party, and we'll get you more insight into what's playing out within that party. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's bring you more from the Labour Party. And the factional publicity secretary of the party, Mr. Abayomi Arabambi, has been speaking on the events that led to the takeover by Mr. Apapa. Mr. Arabambi, who was a guest on our breakfast program Sunrise Daily, says that the issues actually date back to the fallout from the party primaries last year. Take a listen. I guess we'll bring you that. But let's get into the conversation then. We're joined by the Labour Party's Publicity Secretary in Ogun State, Mr. Tokunbo Peters. He joins us right here in our Lagos studio. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us. It's good we have you to shed some more light, because a lot of people are looking at Labour Party and thinking, well, the Labour Party will be different from what we've seen in other parties, and they were expecting that at least this would represent the party that a lot of Nigerians, millions of Nigerians voted for, expecting that it will be quite different. But from what we're seeing play out, let me refer to what Mr. Arabambi said. We had him on our breakfast program, Sunrise Daily, this morning, and he raised issues around forgery, perjury. In fact, Mr. Apapa, who took over leadership of the party, actually made reference to that. But just to buttress that point, let's listen to Mr. Arabambi so that you can get that angle and respond to it. So let's take and listen to Mr. Arabambi now.
We wrote to INEC. Professor Mahmood replied that, there were documents submitted by your national chairman, your national secretary to the commission, claiming that those two candidates withdrew by themselves and that they even sought an affidavit at the SCTI court. We said, okay, we apply for the certified true copy of the document. We proceeded to the FCTI court and we wrote to the registrar, Sir, ma, we want certified true copy of what this document, they call it this governorship election notice of withdrawal of candidates and also the letter of voluntary withdrawal. That was when the court wrote back to us with the certified true copy that those documents were forged by the chief registrar, Lawa Fumilola, Director of Commissioner of Food Department.
Is the court that wrote back to you?
Yes, they wrote back, giving us the certified true copy. And that was when we got to know that the chairman and secretary deliberately forged the seal of the court in the affidavit. That is one. They forged this, the signature and stamp of the Commissioner of Oath, and they also produces their own TSA account. Everything is here. So, before the police will start their work, we proceeded to court on the civil matter. We asked the court, my lord, can a man who has committed this, because we have two documents, one from the police and one from the register of the FCTI court, can he continue to be parading himself as our national chairman? That was why, through the expert motion, that the court said, no, we are going to restrain you. Our lawyer even asked for abridgment of 8 days, come back, because we wanted him to come to court with any lawyer he has. Let them come and prove this case before Nigeria. Because when you come to equity, you must be seen to come with a clean hand.
So those are the words of Mr. Arabambi. I'd just like you to respond to them. I mean, forgery of a registrar, commissioner of old signature. What do you have to say to that? Because I know you know about what's going on within the party very well.
Okay, I have this commentary to make. While I may not be in a position to confirm or deny the veracity of the allegations being made by Arabambi, but I will say what I know. For Arabambi to have made those weighty allegations, because they are quite weighty, it means he must have been in concert with the national chairman, because I know that he used to be very close to the national chairman before they fell out. And I'll tell you what led to their falling out. Arabambi was entrusted with responsibility that were beyond his capability.
How do you mean?
Okay. During the primaries, before the election, during the primaries, he was made to be in charge of Lagos and Ogun State. When I said made to be in charge, it was to oversee the primaries and the listing of successful candidates with INEC. Now, it will interest you to know that the Labour Party in Ogun State were unable to field candidates for all the elections in Ogun State due to Arabambi's, I wouldn't call it negligence, I think it was deliberate. I will take you back I am aware that Abayomi Arabambi is a member of what they call SWAGA. There's an association called SWAGA, Southwest Agenda for Asiwaju, who were campaigning for Asiwaju to become president.
And you have this on good authority.
I have this on good authority. There are documents. I have documents to show with Arabambi's name and signature. He was one of the signatories that signed in support of the presidential aspiration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, how can we have a high-ranking member of the Labour Party paying allegiance to a candidate in APC? These and so many other issues led to his being suspended as far back as December last year. He was suspended from the party. And that was why I was surprised when he appeared this morning on Channels TV and he was being referred to as the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party. That's not true. He's the suspended National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party.
So who's the National Publicity Secretary then?
Presently, the position is vacant.
And he said it clearly that, life abhors a vacuum. And coming from the court's judgments, the federal high court or the federal court at the Capital Territory, the judgment that was given some days ago, he said that it was based on that Mr. Apapa took over the reins of the affairs of the party. Do you see anything wrong in that?
There are so many things wrong with that.
In following a court order?
So not in following the court order, but the process.
Okay.
If you must know, there is a counter-court order from Benin saying that the status quo should remain.
Is it a counter-court order, though?
It's a counter-court order.
Do they speak to the same issues?
By a court of equal jurisdiction.
Do they speak to the same issues? For him, he says that the one in Edo State speaks to the ward that suspended Comrade Abure in the first place, while the one at the Federal Capital Territory is not about the ward. It speaks to the party itself and the chairman and the other members whom the court said should not parade themselves.
The bottom line is Barrister Julius Abure's position as the chairman, the national chairman of the Labour Party. That's the bottom line.
No, I'm saying that it speaks to different organs.
Of course, there might be different issues. There might be different issues. But what is the bottom line? The bottom line is the removal of Barrister Abure, Julius Abure as the national chairman. If a court in Abuja said it should be removed based on some certain issue, and some few hours later another court in Benin reinstates him.
Says the ward should not suspend him. It restrained them from suspending him.
The court reinstates him.
No, it restrained them from suspending him, actually.
The ward had actually suspended him.
Exactly.
And he went to the courts and he got an injunction reinstating him back as a chairman. But these are not even the issue. These are not even the issue. The issue we should be looking at is this. Does a suspended party official, does he have a right to remove a national chairman and install his deputy as an acting chairman? Those are the issues we should be looking at. So
you're saying, because I got you clearly, you're saying that when it comes to the case of forgery, perjury, and all of that, you do not support the party chair, Comrade Abure, on that one. You want that to be investigated and the outcome should come out and decision made on that.
Of course, those are hefty allegations and they should be investigated. Mm-hmm. It must follow due process.
Right.
And we also have our own internal party mechanism for looking at such issue. Let me draw your mind back to something. As far back as December last year, the highest organ of the party, the NEC, the National Executive Council, they deliberated on some allegations made against Abure by this same Arabambi, and he was found to be innocent. And the NEC placed a vote of confidence on him. And that was when that same NEC suspended Arabambi from the party. And that suspension has not been lifted. And as long as he's on suspension, I don't think he has the authority to speak on behalf of the party. Those are the issues we should be looking at.
Clearly, lots of issues really to wrap our heads around. And as I said, Nigerians will be looking to the Labour Party, see how these issues are resolved. But we'd like to thank you so much, Mr. Tokunbo Peter, for giving at least some insight into this. I guess we'll be speaking to you again in the coming days if the need arises.
Now, before I go, I would like to say something.
You have 10 seconds. We're
10
totally
seconds.
out of time.
You see, the reason why these things are playing out in the party
Right.
is because we have influx of new people like me, people from the obedience movement,
Right.
who want to see things done differently. And the old brigade, the people like Arabambi, who have been using this party for transaction,
All right.
they are not happy with our stance. And
Okay.
that is why we have all these things.
All right,
playing
we'd
out.
like to thank you so much. Just to put it on record that it was Mr. Apapa that reinstated Mr. Arabami. So to that extent, at least judging from that, he is the publicity secretary of the party under Mr. Apapa. But hey,
That
we
is
have to...
that is contestable.
Well, I mean, it's politics. Those things happen, but we'd like to thank you so much once again. All right, let's give you some more stories now. This one from Nasarawa State. A former deputy governor of the state, Professor Onje Kiewadu, has been abducted. The state police public relations officer, DSP Raman Nansil, in a press release confirmed the abduction. And it said that Professor Kiewadu was whisked away this morning when gunmen broke into his residence in Gwagi village of Wamba local government area. It disclosed that search has been initiated by a police tactical team in collaboration with other secured personnel to rescue the victim unhurt. Well, that's so much we can take on the program this afternoon, hoping for at least a Good Friday twist to the story from Nasarawa State. You can catch up with all of the political stories and more on our website, channelstv.com, and across all our social media platforms. I'm Kayode Okikulu. Goodbye.